This is my fellow virgins, boy. I'm like, say so. Can I take one for loss? Today we react to the 5 minutes as always. Today we react to. Wait, my monitor just turned off. Hold up. What the fuck? What the hell? This went black. I'm high as shit. When I turned the video off, it was like this. So I'm thinking it's black until I fuck it. Today we react to UFC 21 Aspinall versus Gane. I ain't gonna Gane, Gane, Fane, Train, Bane, Lane, Crane, Lane, Bane. I don't know his name, but listen, bro. Let's talk straight facts real quick. This fight is highly interesting, especially for the the heavyweight division. But Aspinall and Gane, is this actually a great matchup? I actually don't know what to say about this actually, but let's see what the 5 minutes got to say. You know what I'm saying?
Since I won that fight, he's gone completely quiet, and he'll continue to go completely quiet about
He's not telling a lie though.
me.
A lot of the heavyweights get quiet. None of them really want to call him out
Until he retires, because there's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not
talking about Jones, if y'all
a chance. I will retire John Jones without even fighting him.
Yeah, this is how I'm starting this deeper dive. John Jones retired as soon as the challenge arrived. He didn't get beaten, he didn't lose his belt. He just walked away right when the storm was about to reach him. And that storm's name was Tom Aspinall.
Dana White is willing to make this happen. Tom Aspinall is willing to make this happen. This ain't some promoter stopping this. This is the actual fighter who is universally recognized as one of, if not the greatest ever, that doesn't want to fight.
And that retirement lasted a grand...
No disrespect, but what the fuck do this guy knows about UFC? You feel what I'm saying? I know I'm not bugging, but it's cool.
He recognizes one of, if not the greatest ever, that doesn't want to fight.
And that retirement lasted a grand total of 14 days. Just long enough to remove all responsibility of being champion, while still leaving the door open for handpicking opponents.
Did you just retire, John?
I sure did, Naomi.
But did you mean it?
I did at the time, but I do know that everyone loves a good comeback, right, guys?
Oh shit.
Now, months later, Jones wants to crawl back for a White House card, but the damage is already done. The division has moved on, and the man he avoided has become the new face of heavyweight MMA.
John Jones wanted none of it. Look, there's nothing I could do about that. If he doesn't want it, there's nothing that I could do. I wanted to be the UFC heavyweight champion.
John Jones just want to wait it out, watch him fight, see if he get the belt, see if he retain it. You feel what I'm saying? And he's just going to dissect his fighting style, bro. That's the only thing about it.
Champion. I am the UFC heavyweight champion. Now the reign can begin properly.
At UFC 321, Tom Aspinall defends his undisputed title for the very first time. And across from him stands Cyril Gane, the smoothest mover in heavyweight history, the technician who fights like a middleweight, and the only man left who can test Aspinall's composure.
Cyril is a very decorated kickboxer. Sharing for you when you're Tom Aspinall, you beat 6 men all the same way, which is stand up and by knockout. Matchup-wise, an interesting match.
But this isn't just another title defense. It's the most important heavyweight fight since John Jones's return.
Facts.
Not because of the names on the poster, but because of what it represents. 2 of the most athletic big men to ever enter the octagon. Young, fast, technical, and modern. No brawlers, no one-punch cliches. This is what the new era of heavyweight MMA looks like.
Cyril Gane is the same as Tom Aspinall in terms of athletic ability. When I say that Tom Aspinall is a heavyweight George St. Pierre, that kind of goes to Cyril Gane as well.
Both men have the same mission, both for opposite reasons. For Aspinall, this fight is about legitimacy, proving that he's been the real champion for a while now. And for Gane, it's redemption. He's had 2 chances at gold and failed both, but he's still the cleanest striker in the division, still the man everyone fears when the fight stays standing.
It's just that wrestling is fucking crazy.
Cyril Gane's lost 2 title shots, and I want to give him his 3rd title shot loss and get him out of there.
This is Europe's heavyweight super fights. England versus France, power versus precision, pressure versus poise. It's a matchup that feels like it should have happened years ago, yet somehow came at the perfect time, because now there's something real on the line. Not just a title, but an era. Tom Aspinall represents the future that John Jones has ran from. Cyril Gane represents the one puzzle he never got to solve. And at UFC 321, those 2 paths finally collide. It's about legitimacy, legacy, and the ghost of the man who refused to face him.
Let's go.
Thank you to the Fighting Business. Absolutely amazing. One of my favorite new channels going right now.
When Jon Jones beat Cyril Gane back in 2023, it looked like the start of a new empire.
That was like
He
2 years
submitted
ago.
Gane in minutes, called himself the greatest ever.
That's
and
crazy.
He promised to dominate the division. But the promise never became a reality. Jones got injured, delayed, and eventually disappeared. He left the division frozen until Tom Aspinall burst through the door. Aspinall's rise was violent. So violent it felt scripted. By the way, if you're wondering why this setup looks a little bit different, yeah, I'm traveling for a few months. But don't get me wrong, I didn't forget to pack my Ibuko tees. I'm just throwing it out there, but if you do want to support me, support the channel, support the videos I produce,
These shirts fire, I
cop
ain't
yourself some
gonna lie,
Ibuko
and
tees using code TFB for 5% off. Anyways, back to Aspinall. He knocked out Sergey Pavlovich in 69 seconds, then demolished Curtis Blades even faster. His speed, his accuracy, his calmness under chaos, everything about him looked inevitable. The fans wanted the showdown. Aspinall versus Jones, the new blood against the legend.
Got the next question.
Knock it off.
But instead, Jones vacated the belt, called it a career, and left the sports.
Did Jon Jones retire because he thought that he was going to lose to Tom Aspinall?
The constant presence calling people out. I would have beaten Daniel Cormier at heavyweight. Yo, I'm 5 years retired. It just opens the conversation to where if most believe that if Stipe was standing across there, he'd probably do it.
That's why fans hate it, because it wasn't closure. It was cowardice. Jones retired not as a champion, but as a man unwilling to risk the truth of what might happen against Aspinall. And when the UFC upgraded Tom from interim to undisputed, nobody complained, because deep down, everyone knew. He earned it the hard way.
It happened over the weekend. Dana White says he's retired.
Then Jon Jones changed his fucking profile pic to a duck with a UFC title.
You were the undisputed champion. How are you feeling a few days after?
Yeah, to be honest, I always saw myself as a champion anyway. I think the whole Jon Jones thing was a bit weird. But luckily now that is in the past and we can move on, which is good.
Now, UFC 321 is his first true defense, and the opponent across from him, Cyril Gane, is both the best and worst matchup possible. On paper, Gane doesn't really deserve this shot. His last fight, a razor-thin decision victory over Alexander Volkov, could have easily went the other way. It was the kind of fight where the crowd didn't even cheer at the end. They were confused, waiting for the scorecards. Gane looked hesitant, too careful, almost like he was fighting not to lose. But in this division, that's sometimes all it takes to get another title shot. Still, Gane is not just a random opponent. He's a former interim champion himself. He's fought for gold twice, and while both of those attempts against Ngannou and Jones ended in defeat, his skill set remains unlike anyone else in the division. At 6'4", around 245 pounds, Gane moves like a middleweight. He's light on his feet, precise with his jab, and has this almost musical rhythm to his striking. He's not a knockout artist, but he breaks opponents down slowly, making them miss, making them doubt. And that's what makes this fight tricky for Aspinall. Because at 6'5" and around 255 pounds, Tom is a physical nightmare. Fast, explosive, powerful, and balanced. But he's never faced someone who moves like Gane.
Cyril Gane is somebody that's a big heavyweight, that's very agile. I don't think Tom Aspinall gets rid of him right away like he has with other people.
Tom's movement, his boxing, and the speed and his power is, hey, listen, I can't, it's very, very difficult to doubt this man anymore.
Sergey Pavlovich came forward like a freight train. Curtis Blades wanted to wrestle, but Gane dances. He makes you chase him, then punishes you for it. He's the kind of fighter who can make an entire round disappear without really landing anything, just through movement and control of space. But that's also where his weakness live. When Gane gets pressured, when he can't breathe and can't move, his entire game collapses. We saw it against Ngannou, a striker with zero wrestling background, out-grappled him for 3 rounds. We saw it against Jon Jones, taken down in the opening seconds, submitted almost instantly. Gane's composure evaporates under real pressure. He's brilliant when he dictates the fight, but when the fight dictates him, he breaks. And that's where Tom Aspinall thrives. Tom doesn't rush, he doesn't overcommit, he walks you down, calculates every step, and when he decides to go, it's like a trap snapping shut.
He might be the fastest heavyweight in the history of the sport.
That's
I don't think anybody moves like that guy does.
He's so fucking
at a
quick.
250 plus pound frame, his movement's fucking extraordinary. And that's something you have to deal with. Like, that is a crazy ability.
His timing is surgical, his hands are crisp, fast, and precise. and he mixes in his wrestling so seamlessly that you never know what's coming next. His knockout of Pavlovich wasn't just power, it was awareness. His finish against Blades wasn't just revenge, it was control. Every performance he's had since returning from that knee injury has looked effortless, almost too calm for heavyweight MMA.
Big fan of like Tom Aspinall as well.
Oh, yeah.
You don't really see that anywhere, full stop, but definitely not in the heavyweight division.
No heavyweight moves like him.
No one moves like him.
He moves like a 185er.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
With that kind of explosive and that power, it's crazy.
But all that calmness will be tested.
If MVP
here,
said
because
that, you
Gane
know
is
it's
built to
serious work.
frustrate him. If Gane can stay long, keep the fight at range, use his teeps, leg kicks, and lateral movement, he can make Aspinall chase. He can force Tom to miss, to second guess his timing. And if that happens, it could drag Tom into a slower, more strategic fight, the kind that Gane wins. But the difference here is what happens when Aspinall does find his range, when Tom cuts the cage, when he closes the gap. That's where everything changes. Because once Gane gets touched clean, he doesn't have the kind of defensive instincts to recover. He doesn't shoot takedowns. He doesn't clean. He doesn't.
That was sharp as shit.
Closes the gap. That's where everything
Hold
changes.
on, y'all seen that?
Because once
Gane slip,
slip,
touch, chill, slip,
clean,
slip, boom,
he
slip,
doesn't have the
boom,
kind of.
Got him. Look at that.
defensive
Boom. He could have went right again. Boom. Boom.
To recover.
Come on, bro. He's sharp as shit.
He doesn't shoot takedowns. He doesn't clinch. He backs up. And against someone like Aspinall, backing up is the worst thing you can do. That's what makes this fight so fascinating. It's not about who's more skilled. It's about who can make the other man play his game first. If Gane can make it a chess match, he's dangerous. But if Aspinall can turn it into a storm, it's over.
I think this fight's going to be better, and I think it's pretty rare that you see any guys of our size that move like we do. So I think this is really like the new age of the heavyweights, and people are really going to start to see the difference now between guys like us and guys 10 years ago.
And beyond all of that is the pressure. Because Tom isn't just fighting Gane, he's fighting the narrative. If Gane, the same guy Jon Jones humiliated in 2 minutes, somehow beats Aspinall, the story writes itself. Jones will laugh, the fans will say he was right. They'll say Tom never deserved the hype. But if Tom does what he's been doing, if he cuts through Gane with the same efficiency and control we've seen in every fight since his comeback, then this division finally moves forward. Then Jon Jones' shadow finally fades. Because at this point, nobody's questioning who the better fighter is. We're questioning who's brave enough to prove it. And that's why UFC 321 matters. Because Tom Aspinall isn't fighting to defend the title. He's fighting to claim an era.
Aspinall to me is no difference than an old St. Prude or Dominic Reyes or Anthony Smith, being like just another up-and-comer that's exciting right now. I just look at Tom as a very arrogant young man who hasn't proven much. He's using his mouth to even be mentioned in such a serious conversation.
That was some cold shit.
This fight isn't about resume or rankings. It's about closure. Because when Jon Jones left, he didn't just vacate a belt. He left behind a question mark. And Tom Aspinall has been fighting ever since to turn that question mark into a period. If he beats Cyril Gane and beats him convincingly, there will be no more debates, no more hypotheticals. The era of waiting for Jones will finally end. But if he loses, then the ghost returns, the narrative flips, and Jones wins again, without even stepping foot inside the octagon. That's why UFC 321 matters. It's not about who has the belt, it's about who owns the era. And for Tom Aspinall, this is the night he either becomes the true heavyweight champion of the world, or just another name buried in Jon Jones' shadow.
If you kick my ass in front of the whole world, I'm happy to put my hand.
Damn. But this fight about to be interesting. New background, you know. Y'all probably see if I watch my videos, y'all probably see me in probably damn near every spot. Yeah, I'm in the fucking basement because I think it's lit, personally. But I got Aspinall.